Welcome to day 1 of the 12 days of Chanmas. I really wanted to wear like a Santa hat or something, but I only have my holiday Starbucks mug, so that'll have to do. But on today's first training, these are going to be mini trainings. So this is going to be quite literally better than what you're paying for in other memberships or wherever else. I plan to provide you so much value. I plan to give you so much education. My intention is that you can take what you learned here and you can go apply immediately. So 2026 is the year of the Chit Chat Reel. And that's what today's topic is. I'm going to be training you on why Chit Chat Reels matter. I'm going to be training you on how I record Chit Chat Reels, how I edit them so that you can take that and run with it. I'm going to be giving you my signature framework for the Chit Chat Reel so that you don't question what to say. We're going to be diving into so many good things. So before we do that, the 12 Days of Chanmas is going to be a 12-day series, consecutive days. So every single day for 12 days straight, I'm going to be training you on a topic of some sort when it comes to business strategy, launching, content, of course, messaging, leadership, energetics, all the things that you would get from me if you were in my world. I'm going to bring them here to you. And I'm taking some of the hottest topics that have been discussed behind the scenes in my groups, in my community, and I'm bringing them to the 12 Days of Chanmas. With that being said, I have my notes over here so that I stay on task because this is going to be like a mini masterclass. So I wanted to make sure that I did not, digress too much because I like to talk and I wanted to stay on topic. And with that being said, if you want the replay of all the 12 days, you can comment. If you're watching the replay now, you can comment the word Chanmas and that link will be sent directly to your DMs. Or if you're watching this and you're still in the month of December, the link to get the replays will be in my bio. So we're going to be creating a playlist for you to get all 12 of the trainings so that you can review them and you can learn whatever you want from them. And then there's still some topics that are to be determined because sometimes I just get good ideas. So I wanted to leave some space for creativity. The next thing is the 12 Days of Chanmas is going to be a challenge. And with that being said, I wanted to do some giveaways with this. So if you share the replay of one of the 12 days, if you share the replay to your Instagram stories and you tag me, don't forget the tag or else I won't see it. I'm going to be giving you a free seat into a masterclass at the end of the year or maybe early January where I debrief how I hit 6 figures this year. And in this masterclass, I'm going to be giving you all the strategies that I used, all the things that I wouldn't do again, the mindset, all the content stuff. So that masterclass is going to be really valuable and you can get a free seat to that masterclass if you take one of these replays, you share them to your stories, and you tag me. That'll get you a seat into that. Now, if you share 5 of these, we will be tallying this. So if you share 5 of the replays over the 12 days, you will be entered into a giveaway for my signature content audit. And what that looks like is I will be pulling up your Instagram and I will be video recording the review, the audit of your most recent posts. So your last 3 posts will be diving in deep. I will be giving you like what works in your content, what isn't working, how to get a little bit more clear, how to do something more converting for your audience. So you'll be entered into a giveaway for the content audit, and we're going to be doing a bunch of them. So don't feel like it's a giveaway you might not win. We're going to be very generous with this. And that comes when you share 5 of the replays. So obviously after day 5, that'll be an opportunity for you to do that. Okay, so I want this to reach as many female thought leaders in business as possible. That's why I'm doing this challenge. And that's why I'm giving you some free stuff away because I believe what I'm about to train you on in these mini trainings, it's going to change the game. I think it's going to be really helpful for you. So I will put all of the challenge details also in the description below so that you can make sure that you keep up with that. Let's get into day 1. Again, I'm looking at my outline here because I want to stay on task, but I started this by telling you that today's topic is what I call the Chit Chat Reel. And 2026 is, hi Erin, 2026 is the year of the Chit Chat Reel. And this is why the Chit Chat Reel matters. Now, let me just back up and tell you, I call this a Chit Chat Reel Most people call it a talking head reel, but I don't know why that term, I don't like it. Like talking head reel sounds really strange to me. So I call this a chit chat reel, and it's obvious what it is. It's like you are scrolling, through your social media and someone is talking to the screen. That is a chit chat reel. We're going to keep it simple. So the power of the chit chat reel, this is a perfect way to kick off the 12 days of Chanmas, because you can take the chit chat reel and you can repurpose this piece of content everywhere. Now, I don't train my clients to be everywhere. That's not feasible. Most of my clients are still working a 9 to 5. Some of them are doing their business full time. But at the end of the day, you have clients to take care of. You have back end stuff. You have a family. You have exercise to go do. So to be on all of the social media platforms, it's not worth your time. So that's why I teach the superpower of repurposing. And the chit chat reel is like the master repurposer. And once you create one chit chat reel, you can take it and you can obviously post it to Instagram. That is my hub. Like I show up on Instagram with my business every single day. I am on multiple different platforms, but the core of my business is Instagram. But you can take the chit chat reel and you can go post it to TikTok. You can put it on YouTube Shorts. You can put it on LinkedIn, Substack, which I just started a Substack, more to come. All of those things, even like X or wherever else you are, you can put your chit chat reel on those platforms and you just record it one time. So this is where the chit chat reel is going to be huge. Now, let me tell you that I'm telling you that 2026 is the year of the chit chat reel, because right now in the state of our industry, what we're doing online and in social media, people are craving human interaction. It's why you're watching this live. It's why you're here. You want to see people in real time. You want to connect with people, even though we're still on social media and we're not physically in front of one another. We want to kind of like diffuse the feeling of AI in the marketplace. Now, I'm not hating on AI, but what I do disagree with is letting these AI messaging platforms steal your voice or like rob you of what makes you you. With that being said, when AI is coming in and dominating the industry the way it is, it's like we can smell that. Like we can feel when someone's using AI in their messaging, and we probably don't even know what it is. Like we can't place our finger on it and say, "Oh, I know that that's AI." Unless it's like, I don't even know if I agree with like the dashes, because a good writer uses the dashes. So it's like, I don't know if that's like the indicator, but it is like you know when someone is using AI, because it's like that internal feeling when you know when someone's lying to you. It's like this gut reaction where we know it's just not truthful. Erin says, Substack is my playground. I love it. Never thought about using my reels on it. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So going back to like this AI thing, we have this like unspoken energy when we're using our voice that feels more authentic versus like always using messaging. And the way that you use your voice, the way that you showcase your energy could be that factor of when someone decides to pay you or hire you. So don't forget about that your messaging, it's not always written form, because people, again, we have short attention spans. So, back to the chit chat reel. When a chit chat reel is you and you have your phone placed in front of you, you're sharing value, you're speaking directly to the person that you want to work with, the person that you want to help solve their problems, and you let them feel your energy, you're going to take over. So you can add this into, I would truly add this into like a weekly content strategy, depending on the way that you want to operate your business. And again, everybody has different goals. Like if your goal is not to make multiple 6 figures, then maybe, I don't know how often you show up on social media. My clients, I am like, as much as you can show up here, you should have ideas. Like you should never be short of ideas. So adding in the chit chat reel one time a week is massive. And I will tell you a secret. I will sit down. I have a corner in my office where I do my chit chat reels. You don't need that, by the way. I actually would say, I think my setup is a little too professional. I watch people do chit chat reels in their car and they kill it, because like I said, the humanizing factor is there. So don't feel like you need the lights behind you and you need a little microphone and you need all this stuff. You don't need that. Just be yourself. Like, go in your car, especially like the moms who are busy. Go in your car and record a chit chat reel. I forgot what I was saying. So anyway, back to, what I wanted to say was I will sit down and I will record my chit chat reels in the same outfit. And I will have a goal of cranking out like 3 different chit chat reels. And then that's 3 posts that I have over the next couple days. So I try to shift in between modalities. I'm not always doing reels. I'm not always doing carousels. Like I have a process there. That doesn't matter either. You don't need to overthink this. Like if you are like, I don't even have a process, then your goal is just to get yourself out there, put yourself out there. So like I said, the best part about the chit chat reel is that you can repurpose these everywhere, absolutely everywhere. All right. How I record and edit the chit chat reel is extremely crucial because this is an Instagram live. This is not a chit chat reel. But if I were to record a chit chat reel, I would be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I would sit in front of my phone. I wouldn't try to like press record, stop, start. I would just let the phone record me and I would share what's on my mind. I would share what I want to teach. And it sometimes goes on for like 10 minutes, which always sucks when it's really long. But then I take that video footage and then I edit it. Now, this is important because if you're not editing the appropriate way, this is why your chit chat reels won't perform well. You don't need a fancy setup. I use my phone to record and then I take my video and I put it into CapCut. CapCut is my bestie. I love CapCut. And again, because the intention is to repurpose, I'm not editing my chit chat reels in Instagram or in TikTok. I'm editing them in CapCut. And sometimes my editing will take me 30, sometimes upwards of 45 minutes because I'm so particular about the edit. When I'm editing, what that means is I'm watching the video and I'm cutting out all the dead space. That's the first thing that I do. I will select where I watch my mouth. That's a key pro tip. I watch when my mouth closes and that's where I stop it. I'm not really listening most of the time, at least the first time through. Watch where my mouth closes. I will cut that, split it, and then I'll play it until my mouth opens and I cut that and then I delete what's in between. That is the dead air. This is going to give it the effect of like, you sound like you're talking really fast, but worth the time to edit though. No one will sit and watch a bunch of dead air. Love this. Facts. Big facts. So yeah, you want to take out even like the ums or like I just said so. For some reason I say that a lot, like so annoying. But you want to take those things out and it'll sound like you're like boom, 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 boom. But with the people in the world today, it's like, just tell me, get to the point. You know what I mean? They're watching this and they want you to tell them what you want to tell them, like get there. And so the editing factor is going to make a huge difference. Now, I am not just going through one time and taking out the dead air. I'm going through this multiple times and I'm making sure that I didn't cut off any words. I'm making sure that it makes sense. And then the second time through, I'm taking out things that I'm like, that is actually like, I dragged on a little too long. It's not relevant. It's not going to help the ideal person who wants to see this. And so I take out things that don't make sense to be in there. And I want my chit chat reel to be no longer than 60 seconds. That's really tough. I'm not going to lie. That's really tough to do. But after 60 seconds, you're going to lose people. And you should really be like the elevated woman, which is what I call the women that I work with. Like they're elevated women. They're working on their leadership. Your ability to simplify what you're saying, to simplify what you're teaching is a superpower. So through doing chit chat reels, you're going to actually strengthen your ability to simplify as you're teaching people. And so that's why I love social media in that way, because you're documenting in real time your evolution of strengthening your leadership. Like you're going to look back a year from now on your chit chat reels and be like, holy crap, that's trash. And then a year from now, if you're consistent with these, you're going to be like, dude, I'm getting so good at this. And this is going to be a signature type of content for you. I have so many things to say about the chit chat reel. It's actually changed the game in my social media content. Now, when I'm editing and I'm removing dead air, I'm removing sentences, another one of my favorite things to do is I'm like we all have a wide range of personality to us. Like I'm very serious and I'm very intense, but I'm also really silly and sarcastic. And there's ways that I can implicate those parts of my personality by simply taking parts of the chit chat reel. Like if I'm like, duh, or like I say something stupid, or I'm like, why did you say that, Chandler? Because like if I'm sitting there and I'm recording myself for 10 minutes, I have moments where I'm like, what the heck? Like, and so I'll leave that in there intentionally to show the range of my personality. And what I'll do is I'll take it in a segment inside of CapCut and I zoom in on that segment. And the visual effect where it's like you're zooming in on that piece and you're like, oh, I get it. That's supposed to be funny. I don't know. It's like human psychology of the scroller. I just made that up, but you know what I mean? So it's like going to allow them to see the texture and a little bit more into your personality. Like, you get it. 60 seconds is hard for me. I always have so much to say. Girl, you ain't never lie. Same. I sometimes am like, oh my gosh, like why can't I just say this quickly? But I will get to that in a minute because I'm going to show you my real Chit Chat Reel script framework, and it's going to help you with that. All right. So when you go to post your chit chat, let's just stay on the topic of editing and the aesthetic because this is important. When you are going to post your chit chat, there's things that are required on the actual video itself in order for this to perform well. You need to add in closed captions, and you can do this in CapCut. Usually I will export one without the closed captions, and then I use the closed captions on Instagram because I want it to pick up the SEO, the search engine optimization, but I don't even know if that really does that, so don't overthink it. You can use CapCut and just do the closed captions, and I put them, like I'm literally pointing to the screen, I put them right here. And they're tiny, like they're not taking over my face. I use the same consistent font on all of my Chit Chat Reels because brand familiarity is very important here. And the reason that I'm including the closed captions is because a lot of people watch Reels without the sound on. So take care of them. I don't know about you guys, but like I used to work in the operating room. I used to be in surgery every single day. And I would literally be in surgery. This probably sounds terrible. Patient first always. But I would literally be in surgery and I would be scrolling through my phone and like I knew I couldn't have the sound on. So I would be like watching this and I would get so frustrated if someone posted a chit chat reel and I couldn't read what they were saying. So add in the closed captions, and then a lot of people forget this. There needs to be a title right here. Yeah, you can put it anywhere, but I like to put it here. So when I'm recording, I will record it as if you're seeing me right now. There's a lot of free space up here. I do that intentionally because I'm going to have a title of my chit chat reel. Now the title is somewhat like a hook, and we're going to get into hooks. I'm going to have a day of Chanmas where all we do is talk hooks. But your title of your chit chat reel, I want you to pretend like your chit chat reel is a movie. And this movie is very beneficial to the ideal client. Now, the title is going to accomplish the task of the viewer understanding what's in it for me. Like, why would I even watch this? So instead of saying like my favorite type of content, like if this was a chit chat reel, instead of me saying my favorite type of content, I would shift that, and the title would say something along the lines of, if you're not adding this type of content into your strategy in 2026, you're going to get left behind. Okay, that is like a terrifying statement, but it's dramatic. It's curiosity driven. It's very important to have a title on your chit chat reel. All right, now I do also want to address the audio because a lot of my clients will make the mistake of uploading their chit chat reel and using Instagram or TikTok or whatever to take the audio, take a song from that platform and put it like quietly underneath the chit chat reel. Here's why I don't want you to do that. If the audio gets removed, which a lot of times it does, if the audio gets removed, then it's also going to remove your voice. Like, I don't know why it does that, but it removes the entire audio from the entire video. So now that video is done, like donezo. Only people can read your closed captions. We don't want that. So if you are a person that wants to put music behind your chit chat reel, use the audio, the copyrighted audio that CapCut provides, and be very cautious that the sound that you choose does not overpower your voice. You have the opportunity to decrease the volume on that song and increase the volume on your voice. And one of my suggestions, again, if we're sticking with like branding, familiarity, I would suggest that you save the audio that you use for your Chit Chat Reels and use the same one every single time you create one. That's going to really create this like vlogging effect. I used to make YouTube videos in the past. This was years ago. And I would use the same vlogging copyrighted music in the background. And it adds like this homey feeling because people who would come and watch my YouTube videos often, like they associated me with this song. And so you want to create that psychology if you're going to do music behind your Chit Chat Reels. And again, no music with words. Like you are talking, you are the main character. Keep it that way. Whew, how are we doing? If you're here live, let me know how you feel. That's a lot of information, but hopefully you feel excited about Chit Chat Reels going into 2026. Let's segue. Let's move into the Chit Chat Reel script framework. If you have been following me for any amount of time, you know that I get like I'm allergic to templates when it comes to creating content. I feel like my body just like repels them. And here's why. I don't feel like they're taught in the right way. I am never going to give you a content template and say, take this, plug and play because it worked for me and it should work for you. That is not the point of a content prompt at all. The point of a framework when it comes to the Chit Chat Reel is it's important for you to know the technique of how to get people's attention. It's important to loving it. I just started doing this actually with no blueprint, just making myself do it because your girl has big plans for 2026. Yes, I love that. Cool. I'm excited for you. When it comes to the framework for the Chit Chat Reel, the intention, and it's important for you to know this, the intention of having a framework is for you to know how to grasp attention and how to do, like I said in the beginning, simplify what you're teaching and break it down so that people actually watch you and you're not just creating a Chit Chat Reel for the sake of creating one. You're actually making a difference. You're providing value. So let's talk about that framework for the Chit Chat Reel. And this is a script formula. The goal here is I would use this formula for your first 25 Chit Chat Reels. After that, it's important that you learn how to create your own flavor. It's important that you learn frameworks for a foundation, but then you take it and you color outside the lines. Like that is everything that I preach inside of my world. I teach a lot of content. I have a framework for almost every single language that I teach, every single post that I teach. And my goal is that you master the framework so that you can set yourself free from it. That is the goal. You are not mastering the framework to be a framework robot. That's not the point. So let's go over what the initial framework is that you're going to learn for a Chit Chat Reel. You are going to kick off the video addressing something very important. So you can flip-flop these, but you're either going to start with the person that you're helping. So you're either going to start with identifying who that person is that you help, or identifying the problem that you're solving. You have to have both though. So whether you start with the problem or the person, it doesn't matter, but you're going to include both. And at first this is going to feel really cookie cutter, and then it's going to feel like very flowy. You're going to understand exactly how to introduce and kick off the Chit Chat Reel. So you start with the person, you start with the problem, or you start with the problem and then you go into the person. From there, you actually deliver the solution. Like you actually tell them what the solution is and you make it micro specific. That is massive. So we were just talking about how it's hard to keep this to 60 seconds. That's probably because you're trying to include too much in the solution that you're teaching to. So when it comes to being micro specific, I want you to ask yourself, if they were to leave this Chit Chat Reel right now, do they know exactly what they could go do and have a quick win? Like it's one step. It's one thing that they're going to do. Is it crystal clear? Okay. So if I were to talk about a Chit Chat Reel in a Chit Chat Reel, I obviously would not be able to cover all of this. What I would say is I could break this down into thousands, hundreds of different posts, but what I could say is just the framework. I could say, you're a person who doesn't know what to post. Okay, I'm addressing the problem and the person, but I would say something a little bit more clear where I would say, and you're trying to grow your brand and your business online in 2026. So I've addressed the problem. You don't know what to post. You're a person who's trying to grow your brand and your business. Okay, so now I'm removing like anyone who wouldn't be trying to do that. And then I put the time frame in 2026, which time frames or like any sort of metric in terms of number, if you can include that in your hook, it's massive. Then I go into the solution. And what I could say is, here's my framework for what to say in a chit chat reel. And I could say person, problem, solution. And I could break that down very simply. And that's all that I say. Now, obviously, I have so much more to teach on a chit chat reel, but they can come into my world and learn more about this. So that is the whole point, is you're giving them a win. Like, can we just get back to when social media used to be valuable? Like I get so frustrated scrolling social media because it's like people became obsessed with talking about the pain points or like trying to persuade in a way that just is like really weird, where it's like if you just came on here and you taught people something every single day in your content, like you actually created content that was super valuable, not just educational. Okay, again, like I'm saying, develop the skill of simplifying what you teach and putting that into your content. Translate over what you do in your world into your content, that you would own the game. You would take over. It's massive. Okay, back to the chit chat reel. So when you go straight into the micro solution, it's very important that you aren't sticking to just teaching the what and trying to intentionally leave out the how. I don't agree with that methodology whatsoever. I do not agree with teach the what, leave out the how, so that they pay you to learn the how. I don't agree with that. Here's what I do stand by. I stand by being very simple in both the what and the how. That's going to make sure that you don't give it all away. If that's what you're afraid of, giving it all away, then that's actually another conversation. Because it's like, if by the time I give this all away to you, by the time I'm done teaching you the chit chat reel, I'm 100 steps ahead in something else. So it's like there's no shortage of me teaching you everything that I know. It just keeps building. With that being said, when you are giving the micro solution, when you are teaching them the what and the how in a very simplistic process, they're going to love what you give them. And they're gonna consume it in a way where it's like, that's information. Now, there will be a select few, and I'm talking like 1% of people will actually go and do what you teach them in your free content. I don't know what that is, but it's like, you could go on my social media right now and you could consume my last year of content, and you could create a massively successful personal brand just from my content. But people don't do that. They want to hire me, and I'm not arguing that. Like, that's great, but that is why I'm not afraid to give it all away in my content, because I know how this works. So once I give it all away in my content, once you're creating a chit chat reel that's massively valuable, someone is going to be like, that was super helpful. That changed the way that I'm thinking. I didn't think of it that way before. That feels like a dopamine hit. That feels like a quick win. I want more of that. I'm going to hire her for the implementation. So they'll consume it. They'll see it as information. They will hire you for the implementation. Another thing that allows you to kind of cut through the noise is, a lot of times my clients or the women that I work with, they're obviously really good at what they do. So they get their clients results, and they'll post about the results that they get, or they'll post stories about the transformation. They'll tell their own stories. They're really good at that, because that is the cream of what I do. The cream of what I do. The cream of the crop. Jeez. Let's get back on track. But what they're missing is how they help people. So I think that's where this chit chat reel is going to allow you to embody that how, because people are questioning, like, okay, that's great. Like, consumers and scrollers are getting really smart these days. Like, they know, like, okay, that's great. You make a lot of money. That's great. You've lost a lot of weight. That's great. You found the man. That's great. You, whatever, you know how to dress well. How do you teach me? And it's like, you don't, the question of how do you do that is not, okay, let me teach you how and everything that I do. It's like, are you able to speak to the how? Are you able to speak to that? And that's what the chit chat reel is going to accomplish without you even trying. All right. Whew. We only have a couple more things, and then we're going to wrap this up. So when it comes to your Chit Chat Reel, you're getting ready to go post it, and now you need to create a caption, at least if you're on TikTok, LinkedIn, actually all of them. I think YouTube Shorts does not allow you, or it used to not allow you to create a caption that was longer than like 2 sentences. I don't know if that's changed, but let's just say we're talking about Instagram alone. When you think about the caption for your Chit Chat Reel, my rule of thumb is to create this like balance beam effect in between caption and actual post. And this goes for every single post, not just a Chit Chat Reel, not even just a reel. Because you're doing a Chit Chat Reel and you have a lot of information, you're talking a lot. Let's say it's a carousel, for example, and you have a lot of text, you have a lot of copy in the carousel. You balance that out in your caption by your caption not matching the length. So it's a vice versa effect. If you have a lot of information in the post, then the caption is going to be a paraphrased version of what the post was. However, keep this in mind. The caption should be just as beneficial, and it should get the point across of what the post was. So if the caption stood alone without the post, someone would be able to get a quick win. They would understand what the point of the post was, and they would like be able to read the summary version, which is really brief. And then if the reel stands alone, it wouldn't need the caption. So you see how like they can go hand in hand, but when they're together, it makes more sense. So with a Chit Chat Reel, your caption is always going to be paraphrased, brief, to the point. And maybe that looks like you repeat the title that you put up here. You repeat the title, maybe you say it in a different way, or you can match it, doesn't matter. And then underneath, you give the bullet points of which you taught. So you say, boom, 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 these are the solutions to this problem. And that's it. And then if you wanted to add like a call to action, maybe you have like a freebie, or you have like a current program, or you want them to DM you, or you want them to follow you, you can include that call to action. We will also probably be talking about calls to action in the 12 Days of Chanmas, because that is something that I feel the world needs help with. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I think that's it. So we just talked about that 2026 is the year of the Chit Chat Reel. And this was like, holy crap. We've been live for 32 minutes, and Chit Chat Reels are one of my favorite things ever. I really hope that you take this and you go try them, and you don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed by it, but just have fun with it. I just gave you the entire process of creating a Chit Chat Reel and why this type of content is going to dominate in 2026. It's very important that you jump on the train right now to creating Chit Chat Reels. You know how to edit them. You know how to record them. You know the script framework of what to say. You know the visual aesthetic framework. You know how to write the caption. I just gave you a ton of juice. So with that being said, don't forget 12 Days of Chanmas is also a challenge. So if you share this to your story and tag me, I will gift you a free seat into my upcoming masterclass where I break down my 6-figure year and all the strategies that I used. If you share 5 of the 12 Days of Chanmas, which we're only on day 1, so you have to stay until day 5, and then you can share 5 of any of the 12 days, and you tag me in each of them. Don't forget the tag. Then I will put you into a giveaway for a full-blown signature content audit from me, where I will audit your content. You'll get a personal recorded video of that debrief from me. Okay. If you loved this, I would also love to know, like in the comments, how you felt when we're done being here live. Thank you for those of you who stuck here with me live for the last 33 minutes. And yeah, day 2 is tomorrow. I can't wait to do this again. We're going to have a brand new topic on day 2 where I'm going to be teaching you this mini training on a brand new topic. So if you want to know what time we're going live, if you want to have the playlist of the lives, you can go to my link in my bio if it's still December and you're watching this, and you can register your name to get the calendar and then the playlist when we finish all of these. If you're watching the replay, just comment the word Chanmas and we will send you the link directly to your DMs. Happy Friday. Mwah. Day 1 is complete. We have 11 more days to go. Let's do this.